I did this last year and I'm going to do it again right now, and that is, this is my wish list for the top 3 fights I want to see in 2020. I'm only doing 3 fights. If we were talking boxing 40 years ago, with the fact that all the fights you wanted to see generally did happen and everyone was so active, I'd probably have to do a top 20. But because of the way fights easily fall apart with negotiations, with endless bickering and Twitter wars, I'm just going to keep it to 3 to try and just keep this all quality. Now there's going to be some omissions here which will make you think, what? Surely that's one of the picks. Last time I asked for Anthony Joshua against Tyson Fury. That was actually my number 1. But the way things are set up here, I don't think Joshua is going to be fighting either Fury or Wilder. So I'm just not considering that. I can see that happening in 2021. Of course, one of the really big fights we all wanted to see at welterweight, Terence Crawford against Errol Spence, it wasn't looking like it was going to happen anyway. Throw in Errol Spence's recent car accident, and that was probably the last nail in the coffin. There are some other really good fights there. Beterbiev against Bivol is a notable one, but it's not something that really excites me. I have said before, for me, a lot of the quality in boxing, for both the talent reasons and the fact that the fights you want to see get made, is in the lower half of the weight divisions. So here are my top 3 most wanted fights of 2020. At number 3, super flyweight, the rubber match between WBC champ Juan Francisco Estrada and the Thai bulldozer Srisaket Rungvisai. Now this fight, or rivalry I should say, is notable for the fact that in my top 3 most wanted fights of 2019, one of them was the rematch between Estrada and Rungvisai, and we got that earlier this year in April, so that was great to see. Problem for Rungvisai was, even though Estrada did box superbly and of course deserved to win, Rungvisai fights orthodox for the majority of the fight for some bizarre reason. The guy is not an ambidextrous fighter, he is a natural southpaw slugger. He totally shoots himself in the foot, he can't get near enough, and in the last 2 rounds I think he switched back to his natural stance, southpaw, and has a great deal more success. So Estrada certainly deserved to win. He boxed very well, but he was certainly helped by the fact that the Thai made an obvious tactical blunder. Now, the fact that Rungvisai gave Estrada a chance in the first place, I think it would be right for Estrada to then again repay the favour in a 3rd fight. Why not? They've won 1 apiece. And let's really see who is the best. Now in the 115 pound weight division, we also have Kal Yafai over here in Britain. He's been the WBA champ for a while. He's been waiting for his big shot. And we've also got the Philippines' Yerwin Ancajas, IBF champion. Hasn't he got the alias of Pretty Boy? He's not a bad fighter himself, but I don't think anyone really considers them threats to the top 2 guys in this weight division. So that's another reason why we want to see this rubber match. And so long as Rungvisai actually just sticks to what he knows and stays in that southpaw stance where he's much more comfortable and adept, we should be treated to another great fight, just like the first one was. At number 2, at lightweight I think now, Gervonta Davis against Vasily Lomachenko. Gervonta Davis, before unspectacularly dispatching of Gamboa in the last round, he failed to make the weight once, didn't he? Now, the ideal situation, because Vasily Lomachenko isn't probably at his best at lightweight, is he? He's a little bit small for the weight. It would have been at super feather, 130 pounds. But this one probably, for reasons stated, is going to have to take place at 135. But it really does have to take place. This fight isn't on my list so much because I think it's going to be an amazing fight, but both of these guys need it. Gervonta Davis now is 25. He has been a world champion since early 2017. So come early next year, you could say he's been on Lomachenko's radar or a possible opponent for 3 years. He is in his prime. Let's say his fight against Gamboa, he was slightly fighting down to the level of his opponent. And for Vasily Lomachenko, such an outstanding talent with all kinds of skills. and he is early 30s now, considering his twitchy, really quick, multifaceted style that's probably not going to age well. He really needs to start getting in his big wins. And regardless if he trounced Gervonta Davis, perhaps doing Davis a bit of a disservice there, but it's on the cards, isn't it? He could possibly just completely outmaneuver him. Regardless, Lomachenko's talent is deserving of getting some really good wins on his resume if his record is going to keep pace with his talent. So I really want to see that one. If he fights Teofimo Lopez, that's another great fight possibly as well. That would make an excellent 2020. But Davis has been there longer. Again, he's been a champ since 2017. He's called out Lomachenko before, and he can rebound back if he gets beaten badly. So let's see that one get made. And at number 1 is a fight, oddly, ironically, oxymoronally, I'm not sure that's a word, is a fight between Naoya Inoue, possibly my favourite fighter in boxing at the moment, against one of the most underappreciated, and I think under the radar fighters at the moment, world champions, Mexican Emmanuel Navarrete, at 122 pounds, the weight above super bantamweight. But he is one big super bantamweight at 5'7", but with a 72-inch reach. Some people have made some comparisons with him as like a mini Antonio Margarito. Really tough, long arms, and he just gets in your face and batters you. Now, the reason I said I possibly don't want this fight is because I think Inoue might be at his best weight here at 118 pounds. He doesn't have a massive frame himself. He might have found his sweet spot in terms of the power and the boxing here. He should be fighting Filipino WBO champ at bantamweight, John Rael Casimiro, possibly April 25th. And then I'd like to see him perhaps just stay at the weight and take on all comers. Unify, because it's rare. But a talent like Inoue's, you kind of want to see it stretched. People have mentioned Navarrete before, who has now made 4 defenses, of his WBO super bantamweight title. Much bigger man than Inoue frame-wise. To see Inoue go up just another 4 pounds and try his might against such a big guy who's going to get in his face, I think that would really show us how good Inoue is. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Pacquiao Margarito. Not as extreme, there's not such a disparity in size, but there would be a big one. And Inoue would have to call upon, I think, all his power and boxing skills, his amazing, really powerful check hook that he does as he turns away, the body shots, of course, against such a big guy. And if Navarrete was able to soak it all up, it may prove just a bridge too far for the monster. So it's a bit of a left of field choice of that. It may not happen because I think they're going to want to marinate the monster in America a little bit, Bob Aramis. But if there is that chance and they really feel and believe in his potential, a fight against the big Navarrete would be spectacular.